Hey fam, it has been a hot minute since we've been on and jumped on for a live prep party. I have not shared this link with anyone, members or non-members or whoever. This one is literally just me chatting with you guys, leading you through a live prep party, which we typically do live with people jump on. I am due with baby number 2 in like 48 hours. So I'm totally out of breath. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hop on. Just a whole bunch of things as to why I didn't want to share the link in case I couldn't pull through. But in saying that, I do have an OB appointment in exactly 1.5 hours, which means we have to be done in an hour so that I can quickly get changed and go to my appointment. So that's cool. That means we're going to get through all of our Fill Your Freezer pregnancy edition in an hour or less. So hopefully you are jumping on for your free week, or that you are a member and you can see the value in meal prep menus. All you'll need in front of you is hopefully you can follow along with the recipes. Otherwise, I've shared my screen so that you can see both. I have explained on my Instagram kind of how I went through and set up my counter. I put all my ingredients in their actual little huddles, so I know exactly what I need for each. And hopefully we can pull this off. What do you think? So each of these meals makes between 4 to 6 serves. So I'm hoping this here will give me, 2 or 3 weeks worth of meals as we go in and welcome baby girl here in the next few days. Obviously, you don't have to be pregnant to be joining along for this, this series today. It's just a really awesome way to fill your freezer. I have tried to choose meals that are not necessarily summer related or winter related, something that can be easily served with a salad or with some rice or pasta or something that makes it a little heartier, and spread it out a little longer so that we can cook once, eat twice. That is the value in meal prep menus. So let's get started. We are going to start with healthy turkey sloppy joes. So I have it up here in front of you. Hopefully you can see that. This one's a really cool one because you can see the instructions here. Add all the ingredients to a freezer bag, stir to combine, making sure the turkey is broken up, and then seal and freeze. So this one is a typical dump meal. We will have to do some chopping. So I'm just going to put my bag right near us. We are going to start with adding in, I'm going to do the tomato sauce first, I think. Oh, I normally open all my cans. I didn't do this one, so bear with me. I'm going to put the liquid in the bottom first, just so I know that anything else that I put in will be fully immersed in it. Obviously, if you don't have the stands, please don't put the liquid in first because it will be not so fun trying to make it stand up. And it may go all over your counter. So you might want to choose what you do first. All right, so I'm going to dump in. Hopefully you can see me here. For some reason today, my camera is reversed. I don't know if that normally happens to me, does it? All right, let's go in order so we don't lose track. We're going to add in the 1 pound of ground turkey. So all I'm doing here is dumping that in. Let me get a spoon. Dumping that ground turkey, and I'm kind of breaking it up as I put it into that bag and making sure that it's covered. Those of you who are on often, I sound like a broken record, but I always try and make sure that my protein is covered in some form of liquid, just so it doesn't get freezer burn. Obviously, we're going to try and seal our bags really well, but I always keep that covered. All right, let's add in half an onion. We are going to dice this, okay? So let's hope we don't cry. You want to put on some goggles or a snorkel. I won't discriminate. Do it. Absolutely do it. Onions can be such a pest. All right. Fun fact for you, which you might want to know now in preparation for our future meals, is that red onions, and I guess any onion in particular, you can soak in iced water just for a little while. So if you want to do that kind of now, it takes away a lot of the flavor and smell and I guess a little bit of the taste, but red onions can be quite a lot for some people. So I know my mother-in-law is not a huge fan of raw red onion. So if that's you, soak it in some ice water, say for half an hour or so, 20 minutes, and you'll be good. All right, my onion is diced. I'm going to add that in now into my bag. I realize you guys can't, well, I don't think you can see 100% of what I'm doing. But I hope you're joining in with me because there's nothing worse than following along on a prep party and then wishing you joined in because then your meals would be done for the entire, 3 weeks or something, 2 weeks. Or depending on how big your family is, maybe just a week, and that's okay. All right, I'm now cutting up my red bell pepper, finely diced as well. Remember that this is going to be turkey sloppy joes. So you're going to be adding this to a bun or in a wrap, perhaps on rice, serve it with a salad, like whatever. But I'm making mine quite small so that I can, if I choose to serve it, you know, as an actual sloppy joe, that these red bell peppers will be small enough to be able to add to a bun. Now, when we get to the end of this recipe, I've made all these recipes before, P.S. I'm sure you guys know this. Sometimes not for a while unless they're like a family favorite. But if you are looking at a recipe thinking, there's not a lot of liquid though, it's going to a crock pot. A lot of these vegetables, like this bell pepper, for example, will kind of give off some liquids. As with the onion, I wasn't too precise at cutting that really thin, only because onion pretty much like disintegrates, doesn't it, when you cook it for such a long time in a crock pot. Like sometimes you can still see it, but it's not overly like big. All right, I need to breathe. This chopping is killing me. Oh man. Hopefully I'm helping some mamas here or grandparents helping their kids fill their freezer. We've had mums on here before. We've had families on here before that are helping people who are adopting, which was really special. I mean, what a great gift. Don't get me wrong, I've been loving all the gifts we've been getting, but someone cooking for you or having your freezer done is genius. You don't have to wait for someone to drop it off on a meal train. You don't have to have people coming to your house to drop it off at like awkward times of day when you really don't want to talk to someone or you've just got the baby down for a nap. You can do it all in your own home with products, ingredients, brands you know, love, and trust, which is what I love also. All right, I'm nearly done here. It might seem like a lot of red bell pepper, so don't feel pressure to use it all, but I do love getting as many veggies into my meals as I can, especially when pregnant or postpartum, because it's not really something I'm grabbing out of the fridge as much as usual. I'm going to grab the high carb more than the veggie sticks or carrots. All right, let's keep going. We're adding in a stalk of celery. It does call for one. I'm going to use two. We're going to cut these really thin as well. So I'm just going to slice through the middle, probably a few times here. Make them really thin. So instead of having them just cut, I've just put them into fours. And then dice away again. Some of these recipes call for a lot more chopping and prepping than others. All right. We're doing well here, team. Real well. All right, celery is going straight into the bag. You probably don't have as much as me if you are following with one stalk. I'm doing 2. All right, I'm now adding in 1 tablespoon of honey. Don't mind me just scratching my nose here. Anyone else having really bad allergies this year? Mine are always worse when I'm pregnant. So, I mean, I get it. But, ugh, not nice. All right, I'm going for 1 tablespoon of honey. Yummy. I'm also going for 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Once I've used an ingredient, I move it to the back of my counter. The reason why I don't put it away is because some of these meals or some of these recipes need it more than once, right? So you'll see minced garlic a few times. And I don't want to be just going back to my fridge. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And then we're going to add in some spices, herbs and spices here. So we are adding in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. You can either measure with a teaspoon, obviously, or measure with your heart, kind of like I do. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of paprika. If you have kids, you can leave this out. If your kids eat it like mine does, go for it. I have a strange child who acts like he doesn't like it when he's eating it. Like he's like, spicy, 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 and then just continues to eat it. So we just continue to give it to him. I'm adding black pepper, and then optional is some sea salt here. And that's everything we need for this recipe. So like I said, before we bag it up and seal it, let's really try and mix this all together. I'm going to need a longer spoon. I don't know what I was thinking. Where am I? Oh, my kangaroo. Why not? All the way from Australia. Hey. All right, so I'm going to mix that in, just kind of making sure that I'm moving that liquid from the bottom of my bag, making sure my turkey is covered, some of my vegetables, kind of as much as we can. Oh, that smells good, doesn't it? All right. Now, once I'm done there, I just remove my bag from my stand. And then from here, those of you who are on so often probably get so sick of hearing me, but we are going to squeeze out all the air. So as much as we can. This one's an easy one to do because there's not a lot of liquid. And I'm going to make that bag as small as I possibly can and then just massage it all through. Okay. So like I said, getting all that liquid off the bottom, making sure the turkey is covered, and then nice and flat so that we can stack it in our freezer and it takes minimal space. If you have labels and you want to label it, go right ahead. I keep mine in a really silly order, like one of those crazy listing people. So I know, like, I rotate mine from, so this will go on the bottom because it's new, and I know the meals that I cooked prior go on top, but I will label them before they go in my freezer. Done. Let's move on. I'm going to keep this stand though for another recipe because I ran out of stands. Okay, let's move on. Let me show you the next one. So after I finish one recipe, I move up here, I click fill your freezer, and I'm moving on to the turkey meatballs. All right, here we are going to actually roll balls. I'm still going to put them into a freezer bag because I'm still going to dump them into like a pan to bake them when I'm ready to cook them. It's up to you. If you are cooking these, you can put them straight into a pan if you want. Straight into a baking dish, up to you. I typically try and keep my freezer as much as I can as freezer bags. But once again, up to you. Let's get a large bowl and get started. Okay, so in here we are going to be adding a pound of ground turkey. I'm also going to be adding in 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Fun fact, you can use oats. You can use just regular breadcrumbs, whatever is best. And for you, what your family likes. I'm going for panko breadcrumbs. I'm adding in a cup. Usually I hold back. Oh, have I done the wrong thing? No, I haven't. Still. And I'll use more. I can keep them out in case they're a little bit dense or whatever. We're going for a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, grated. Okay, now I have a 1/2 cup here. So I'm just filling it halfway, obviously, to get my 1/4 cup. But just so if you're following along at home thinking, oh, she's doing half, I'll do half. I'm not. I'm actually just filling it halfway. All right. I am going to be adding in a 1/3 of an onion. So I've already cut mine because that's how I kind of get my counter ready. But now I'm going to dice it. I'm going to make sure it's really small. Because remember here, we're going to make little meatballs, right? So we want to roll them quite small. Is that better? Can you see me better now? Okay. Now, another option that you can do, which wouldn't be a bad thing, is you can just put all of these ingredients together and freeze it without making the actual meatballs, without putting them together, and then just doing that kind of day of cooking. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually roll them with you now. Personally, I feel like they stay together better, especially after they've been frozen a little. They will give off some liquid from being frozen, but it's not normally enough to not keep the meatballs together, especially because I bake mine. If you pan fry, it might be a little different. Maybe they'll fall apart a little bit. But that's the cool thing about meal prep menus. You can leave comments. You can rate the recipes. You can say, hey, we used this instead and it was way better. Or we tried this and it didn't work. So nobody else try and do it. It is a community inside, you know, so we share. You can submit your own recipes. We've had a few recently that have kind of been handed down from families, and I love that. Love that you're sharing them with us. So that is that. We're going to add in a 1/4 cup of milk. I'm going to get ready to mix it all together very soon. Ooh, good. I had just enough. Then all I need is 2 large eggs beaten. You do that. I'm going to get ready to stir it all together. Real soon. You will notice kind of as we go along, we don't do a lot of cooking during our prep parties or during our actual prep. The purpose is so that you can get it all done within the hour, and then the cooking is kind of done the day off. There's nothing that's crazy that's going to take plenty of time. It's just all really low-key things. So throwing it in the oven or throwing it in your crock pot. So everything is really fast and simple, and that's why all of our recipes do undergo that test. So they're tested for obviously taste and family friendliness and ease, but they're also tested for speed, because we're either mums or women or families, dads, we have men who are members as well, who don't have a bunch of time. All right, we're not here, we're not getting gourmet in the kitchen on a Monday night, okay? If you want to do that on a Saturday or a Sunday, go right ahead. But the meals that we're cooking, we're literally going to get them done. Have a meal on the table that are healthy, nutritious, delicious as well, that nobody's going to complain about. All right, these are looking really yummy. So mine are all stirred together here. So what I do, little hint for you, you can either spray your hands, I'm just going to remove my rings, but you can either spray your hands with like an oil, or you can wash your hands, or like wet your hands, I should say, and just don't dry them. And then that way the mixture doesn't get as stuck to your hands. Okay. I'm going to add mine in here, like I said. So I am just going to quickly spray this with a little bit of oil. All right. And then I will just be dumping my meatballs in there. So my hands are wet. I am not going to dry them. They come over here. And I'm just going to make little like golf ball size. Well, it's up to you, but I'm going to make golf ball sized meatballs. So they're going to look like this. And I'm going to put them into my very oily bag. You can make these meatballs however you like. If you would like to make them bigger, if you've got 6 people in your family and you just want to make 6 giant meatballs so they have their ball of pasta and then you just dump a meatball on top, go for it. Absolutely, there is no right or wrong. Again, the luxury of building your own meals, not getting them through a meal prep service, right? We can just determine all of these things. And I just literally toss it into that bag. I will freeze these kind of like on their own so they don't get squished. And then once they've gone hard and they'll maintain their shape, I'll just dump them in with everything else, you know. I stack my freezer bags. Typically I only prep for my week. I'm very much a minimalist. So we kind of buy what we need for the week and that's it. But sometimes, you know, like something will come up, we'll go out for a meal or we'll eat leftovers or we'll go to someone's house. And then obviously I get a little stockpile in my freezer of things. And then that's okay. I've just got extra meals in there. But obviously for this, I'm going to have extra meals because I'm not eating these this week. They will be for whenever baby girl decides to come. So it's going to be a little bit different. We'll have to have a little bit more space. We do have a deep freeze in our basement, which I am happy to use if we're going to be that organized, right? Hopefully you guys can still see my screen. If you are new, if you're joining us today as like a special event, bear in mind that all of our recipes do include the nutritional information. I'll scroll down and show you here in a minute. My hand's obviously really dirty right now, so I'm not going to. But yeah, just for those of you who are interested, if you're following a certain diet, or if you're trying to, you know, follow macros, count calories, it's all there for you. It's not our primary focus. Like I mentioned before, it's to save families time and money and energy. But I do think as a certified trainer and nutritionist, I think it is important to have note of it, just so that we can be, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Gosh, what's the word? Like specific about what we're eating and alert. Now on here on this recipe, I've said it makes approximately 24 meatballs if you're doing like a golf ball sized meatball. I don't do anything fancy to measure. I just scoop and go. Like I said, I'm here for time, not for presentation or making sure they're all a certain size. But I've heard lots of things. Some people use like an ice cream scoop to get their meatballs all like the same size. I know others who use like a little mini muffin tin, which is a really neat idea. So you pack each one into a little mini muffin tin, and then obviously you wrap your muffin tin and freeze that. So then when it's time to cook, you just throw that muffin tin, obviously defrost it in the fridge, and then throw that muffin tin into your oven, which is really cool too. I personally don't do that because I'm not sure when I'm going to be eating this. You know, if I was going to be eating it this week, sure, I probably would. I wouldn't miss my muffin tin for, you know, a few days. But this could be, you know, 2 weeks away by the time I eat it. And I make lots of little mini muffins often because they make a great school snack and use up leftover ingredients, don't they? Which reminds me, I do have a few on there on the portal that you can check out if you're looking for some snack ideas or lunchbox ideas. We also have a function where you can search, you can use the search bar. So what that means is, you know, after today, if you perhaps like, oh, how did I end up with an extra, I don't know, extra celery, for example, you can search for celery in the search bar and up will come every recipe that includes celery. Okay. So we don't want to waste food. We've paid for it. We've chopped it up or we've washed it or whatever. We're going to get our money's worth out of that. Celery might not have been the best idea because I know we can just eat that, but you know, if there's some ingredients that need to be cooked before it goes off or whatever. All right, I'm at the end here. I'm nearly done. All right, I should have left this one to the end and I actually had intended to, but here we are. Before I seal mine, I'm just gonna wash my hands. And I want to show you these nutrition stuff too. So makes about 24 meatballs. Let's say you did that and there is 6 servings here. You know that a serving size is 4 meatballs. There is a video there as well, by the way. So for 4 meatballs, you're looking at 173 calories, which is nothing. So we can load up on that pasta, yippee. 8 grams of carbs, 23 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat. So although this is highest in protein, you won't see it on our high protein list. For something to be considered high protein on meal prep menus, it needs to be 30 grams or more per serve, just so you're aware of how that works. So as you can see here, all of my meatballs are perfectly packaged, and then just making sure we squeeze out as much of the air as possible so that they don't get freezer burn, and making sure it's completely sealed. And then I'm just going to put that on top, like I said, so it doesn't get squished. All right, doing well, team. The rest is going to be kind of smooth sailing. So I click back onto my tab. We are moving into the Thai satay chicken. All right, what do we got here? So yummy, this one. We are not adding, I should have corrected this for you guys. We are not adding the coconut milk. We are actually adding the coconut milk in the cooking instructions. I've been meaning to correct that. So it'll be corrected by the time you guys see it. All right, by the time I press post on this recording. We are going to combine the peanut butter, lime juice, ginger, either your tamari or I'm using coconut aminos. No, I'm not using liquid aminos. All of these ingredients, we are going to dump into a bag, whisk them together, and then add our chicken thighs on top, okay? Our chicken thighs are going in as thighs. I'm going to trim off the fats, but that's it. So let me move my bowl out the way and some of these ingredients. Hopefully you guys can see me a bit more. I don't know what you can see and what you can't because I'm like this tiny little image right now. All right, let's get to work here. I'm going to start with my liquid aminos, which is 2 tablespoons. There's 1. There's 2. All right, I'm going to move on then. I'm going to go back to in order. So I'm starting with my peanut butter and I'm going with half a cup and oh, I could just drink this. Never mind. I won't. You guys are holding me accountable here. Half a cup, I said, right? Yes, good. Yum. Peanut butter is like my go-to. Anything that I want. Delicious. All right, I'm going to pour that in. Doesn't matter if it gets stuck to the side of the bag, guys. Reason why I say that is we're going to massage all of this together anyhow. So we'll get it off as we need to. Okay, peanut butter is done. Let's move on to lime juice, 3 tablespoons. If you don't have lime juice, which I found out this morning, I do not, I'm going to use some lemon. It won't matter. It'll still be fresh and delicious. We've got 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's move on. 1 tablespoon of either grated ginger, or I am using dry ginger, my ginger here. And I love ginger, so don't judge the amount that I'm putting in here. Okay, we're also going to be adding in 3 tablespoons of honey because we're skipping over the soy sauce. We've already done that, or the tamari. What did I say? Honey, 3 tablespoons of it. See, this is why I didn't put it away before. I cannot reach with my stomach. Oh, here we go. You do not have to measure these ingredients if you do not want to. The sweet honey with like the salty peanut butter and so good, and the soy sauce. Yum. Yum, yum. Okay. That is that. Let's add in a tablespoon of sesame oil. And you can leave that tablespoon out, I think. Oh no, we're going to do teaspoons. Teaspoon of minced garlic. Let's do 2 of it. One, 2. A teaspoon of garam masala. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't use this often, but when I do, the meals are always really, really delicious. Need to add some more in. Okay, we're going to add in some red pepper flakes, which I've got here. Do this by flavor preference as well. It's like half a teaspoon, but if your family likes it, go ahead. Let me move some of this out of the way. From here, we are going to trim our chicken and dump it in. Now, this is calling for 2 pounds. I think I have just over 2 pounds, but I know I'm not going to use this in the next couple of days, so I'm just going to throw it all in there and we'll just have a little bit of a bigger meal. You know, it will last us for a few lunches. Okay. So from here, I'm just literally trimming the fat from it. You can dice it if you prefer. You can, you know, make it into strips, whatever you like. Your cooking time may be altered from that. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes I have a really good pack and I don't have a lot of fat to trim, but other times it has to be done. Now, chicken thighs are a little fattier than chicken breasts, if you guys don't know that. That's why they're yummier, right? They have a little bit more flavor. But feel free, if you want to use chicken breast here, go right ahead. Experiment, make it a couple of times. Your family likes it this time, which I know they will. Maybe try it with breast next. So it's also a really good one for like potluck at work. feel like everyone loves a satay, right? And this one's not spicy. It's just, you know, like a peanut, fresh. I'm kind of using this thigh to get some of that peanut butter off the wall. So if you see me putting my arm all the way in my bag, that's what I'm trying to do with it. Okay. The last one there. I'm gonna wash my hands because I can't say I love the feeling of raw chicken. All right. And since everything is in, just making sure that it's all kind of mixed together, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm taking it off my spikes, making sure it is completely sealed. That is the ticket, okay? Don't you be making additional mess in your kitchen. All right, now from here, I'm just squeezing all of that together, massaging it through. That's how we make sure that, you know, it's all combined. The peanut butter is mixed with that yummy soy sauce. The thighs are completely coated because they're going to marinate there until cooking day. Now, you'll see kind of in the instructions here, serve in lettuce cups over rice, in burritos, on a salad. If you're serving it with rice, we love to serve it with like broccoli, green beans, that kind of thing. This is a high protein meal. It has 36 grams of protein. So once you've done that, you massage your chicken. I want you to squeeze all of the air out of that bag. Oh, and enjoy the smell. Yummy. Folding it over, and it's going to go ready to go in my freezer. All right. Let's keep going. We're moving on, team. Sheet pan Greek chicken. In a sealable freezer bag, mix together olive oil. If you're going to be adding that now, I add mine to my pan, but we're going to be adding garlic, lemon, oregano, salt, and pepper. So we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon dried oregano. I have to reach now. We are adding in 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. We are adding salt and pepper to taste. Mine is still over here. There is no sauce in this, okay? So I typically don't add salt if I'm using like soy sauce, liquid aminos, chicken stock, those kind of things, because they're usually higher in sodium, but this one I will. And then we're going to add in the chicken. And actually, I'm going to add some olive oil in here because I don't have any other liquid. So I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons. I'm changing my mind on this one, which we're allowed to do. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons just so it's coated in something. Now, fun fact for you here. You don't have to, but if you want to, I think we're going to have enough time for it. We are going to be adding, I'm going to be adding my vegetables in here as well. So yes, I'm going to be adding my chicken, which is 1 pound or about 4 chicken breasts. I have 2 large chicken breasts here. I'm actually going to put mine into strips, okay, because this is a sheet pan Greek chicken, and I might serve mine in wraps. I might serve it on rice, like who really knows. So I'm going to kind of slice mine a little. I'll show you, because otherwise these are massive chicken breasts. They'll take forever to cook, in my opinion. So, because these are not actually going to be done in your crock pot. These are going to be baked. Now, we are going to toss them all into a freezer bag. And then on the day of cooking, so see, I'm just kind of like stripping them. On the day of cooking, once they're thawed out and defrosted, I will add them to a sheet pan. I will probably add more oil and then spread out all my veggies and go from there, okay? This is served really yummy with like tzatziki. Any dressing. It's kind of like it starts off as just like a flavorful meal in itself, but you can add any type of sauce that you or your family likes the best. And you don't have to cut your chicken. It's totally up to you. I'm not doing a good job. You shouldn't have too many dishes to do. I don't know if you're looking around, but once you put away your ingredients that you're not using anymore, you'll be surprised. Like you have hardly any dishes. It's so good. Like think about it. You're not cleaning any of those bags yet. You're literally cleaning your spoons, your bowl, and your measuring cups, which is perfect. All right, my chicken is in there. I'm going to kind of massage that into the oil a little bit. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to add my vegetables in there as well, okay? If you have vegetables on hand and you're not planning on cooking it this week, I encourage you to just add them in as well, right? Because why not? They won't go off. They won't get old. So I am adding in cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. It is 1 pint. You can cut them in half if you want. Remember, we are baking these. So when you bake cherry tomatoes, they kind of shrivel down a little bit. So I'm not even going to bother chopping them. I've also got an orange bell pepper. I have half a red onion, and I have a zucchini also. I am going to strip my orange pepper. What do I mean by strip? Sounds nasty, doesn't it? Is I'm going to also cut them kind of like I did the chicken into strips. Like so. Roll them in the back. Now you can pick and mix your veggies here. You do not have to do these. I love roasted peppers, baked zucchini, they taste like fries. You know what I mean? So I am just going ahead and dumping it all in. Okay. Zucchini, do the same thing. So I might chop it in half like this and then strip them as well. I've just done them like this. I've tried to keep them the same size as the bell peppers because they'll probably take a similar time to bake. I don't know about you guys, but if anything calls for like baking sweet potatoes, I'm always going to do them for any other vegetable because they take so stinking long compared to everything else. And because this is all going in the same bag, I want them to all be the same cooking time. It's just something to bear in mind there. All right. And then last but not least is our red onion. If yours is in ice water from the start, go ahead and just take it out, dump it out, grab your onion. Same thing here, okay? Bear in mind, you don't want to dice this because if you dice it and then you bake it, they're just going to basically burn. They just come down to nothing. So I am just going to do, like strips, funnily enough, like rings almost, but I have half of one. So I'm just going to separate them and throw them into the bag like that. I love me a colorful bag. Aren't these beautiful? We've got the yellow from the oil and the chicken, and then red tomatoes, orange bell pepper, green zucchini, purple onion. Yum. All right, let me wash my hands. I'm going to get all of the air out of my bag. Now, this one's really important that we seal it completely. There's not a lot of liquid in here, obviously, because we're not throwing it into a crock pot. We're adding it to, like a baking dish. So once I've pulled it off my spikes, I'm really going to work hard to get all the air out of it. So I'll seal it as much as I can, and then leave that little pocket to really squeeze that air out. You can hear it. Okay. Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum. I'm definitely going to want to add some more olive oil and maybe even some like garlic and stuff to my baking dish. So that looks good, right? Yummy. Doing well. Keep it going. We've made 4 meals. Yes. Take it back to the top. We are moving on to the crockpot cowboy casserole. Now, this one's really hearty. This one is a lot. We are going to place the beef and all the ingredients except for the cheese into a bag and combine it well. Okay, then we're going to seal and store. So there's a lot of liquid in this one. So you may need 2 bags if yours are not big, gallon bags. I'm just moving over my ingredients. We're getting to the end of our counter, friends. That means we're getting close to the end. All right. What are we going to start with? We're going to do it in order. We're going to start with, it says 3 large potatoes sliced. I am going to use 2. I've got 2 huge potatoes. So my trash can is right here, which is why I'm doing this. You don't have to peel yours if you don't want to. I have like russet potatoes, I think these are. So I always peel them. They're kind of not so yummy, the skin. If I just had like regular golden potatoes or something, I'd just eat it. I always wash my produce before I put it on my counter because, we're trying to do this quickly. I must admit, prep party is way more fun when you got a glass of wine. And I have my friends on with me. I love when you guys jump on. I really wish we could have done that today. I was just so worried that I would leave you guys hanging, either be like in hospital or running behind. I was just, I move a little slowly these days. That's why I'm like not surprised if this takes me a little longer than an hour. But normally I can get through 5. So I do all 5 of my weeknight meals. You guys know that, in an hour. But we're doing 6 today, so it's pushing me. And I'm pregnant, but that's all right. All right, let's slice up these potatoes, throw them into the bag. I am doing them relatively thin, like this. They're going into a crock pot. So they'll be in there a while. They'll definitely cook through. When I cook these fresh, like as in like I'm putting them straight into my crock pot, I put these at the bottom of the crock pot so that all the liquid and everything else is on top, to help it kind of cook. It won't matter if you're throwing it into a bag like I am today, because when we get to the crock pot part, when we actually get to the cooking, just make sure they're covered. They don't have to be on the bottom. There's plenty of liquid in this one for them to be covered. Potatoes were my thing with my son when I was pregnant with Gray, my firstborn. Potatoes, any way they came, were my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not turning down potatoes right now, but there's definitely other things that I would prefer, like Nutella. Girls and boys, they're completely different. Well, they have been for me anyhow. All right, I'm going to shake those to the bottom of my bag. Where is my thing? All right, let's add in 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic. I'm doing a full teaspoon because I'm a rebel, okay? Who are you dealing with here? Doing a full teaspoon. You don't have to, though. Follow your heart. We're doing 1 large onion slice. I'm actually going to do 1/2, if that's okay. And what am I doing here? I am slicing it again. Perfect. I want to say something, but I don't want to jinx myself. So just give me 10 seconds here. I didn't cry. I didn't cry. All right, let's dump that in as well. Let's add in after these onions, and I'm kind of separating mine just a little. Let's add in our ground beef. Going for a pound. Of that. I have the 93 lean, 7% fat. I don't think it would matter too much what you use. Obviously, there's going to be more oil in the fattier ones. And I'm just going to use my kangaroo again to just kind of push that down so that it gets all that liquid on it. Now we're going to be adding in 2 cans of kidney beans. I am a full y'all, and I have black beans. Whatever. We're going with it today. We're going with it. Don't drain them. We want all of that yummy liquid in there. So I'm dumping that in. But if your crockpot, cowboy, whatever we're cooking, looks different to mine, yours is correct. Mine is incorrect. You would think, since I create the Kroger list for you guys, I'd get it right. But never mind. All right, let's also go ahead and add in a 10.5 ounce cream of chicken soup. Put my spoon in there because that's really thick. Nice. From here, we are adding in dried oregano. Did we already do that? No, we didn't. Dried oregano, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper. Don't put in the cheese. Leave that out. I'm actually not going to put in salt. I'm going to leave that till the end just because we have that canned soup in there. And then from here, I'm going to stir all that in together. Okay, so it's all mixed in. So it's going to look a little gross on top here with the mince and the soup and the beans, but that's okay. Higher protein meal for sure here. Now we serve this one with a side salad. All right, same thing here, really making sure that I'm pulling out a lot of that air. So I'll kind of seal up half of it, maybe over half. Let's push out that last bit. Okay, another one bites the dust. We have one more to go, right? Stick with me if you've come this far. Let's roll this back. We are going to skip over the Korean beef. We're going to skip over the tuna casserole. I'm going to do the crockpot chicken wings with you. If you bought the ingredients for the other two, by all means, go ahead, do it in your own time. I had these planned for our family, so that's what I'm going with. All right, you'll notice here that I have 2 bags because it's a lot of food. It's 8 servings. There's only right now 2 and a toddler in my family, so I'm breaking it up. I never halve a recipe. If this calls for 8 servings, I just freeze them in separate portions. I'm not doing double the work. I just get it done. So what I'm doing here, and this one is so easy. We're going to be done in like 5 minutes. We're going to finish way before an hour. All I want you to do is put your chicken wings, not chicken drumsticks. Thank you, Kroger, but that's another issue. Click and collect is awesome, and it is like such a luxury, but sometimes it doesn't serve me well. But I'm sure the drumsticks will still be really yummy. So I am just going to halve my drumsticks into the bags. So I've got about six or seven drumsticks in each bag. Obviously, you guys are doing wings probably, unless you shop at the same Kroger as me. My tip for you, I don't know if it's a tip, I'm gonna share it anyway, is I always do my grocery pickup the same day and time that I'm gonna be prepping. I don't even put it in my fridge. It literally comes home to me, goes onto my counter, and I set it up exactly how I showed you. Because if it goes into my fridge, it looks convenient there and it's safe there and it can be stored there. And then I'm lazy and I don't want to prep. But I'm like looking at all this food thinking, oh my goodness, I have just made my life so easy. It's literally dumping it into a baking dish or dumping it into my crock pot and I'm done. Whether people are over visiting, I'll have enough for them. You know, I always have rice. I always have pasta. You know, it's going to be fine. It's going to be good to go. So I'm excited. I'm glad I did this. Okay. Let's add in half an onion. And once again, I'm halving this. So I'm still doing the half onion, but I am separating it between my two bags. My trash can is getting full. If you have not gone yet and done the breakfast prep, please go back and do that. It is amazing. Made me think of it because my trash can is full because I did that last night. I prepped some breakfast for this week. So convenient. Okay, we are going to dice this onion, make it nice and small. This is mainly for flavor, friends. This is not, it's going to break down in that crock pot. You're not going to see it. We will taste it though. It'll be delicious. All right, 10:23. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. Got to remember to halve it. Done that plenty of times before where I'm like, all right, well, this one's the one that has all the tomatoes or, you know, whatever. All right. And I'm going to throw that in. Now all we need to do is add in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So once again, let's make sure we are halving that. Amongst both bags. And this is optional. You don't have to do it. I always do a little bit less. I'm not going to lie when it comes to sugar. I always have, even with like cakes and stuff. So if you're like me, go ahead. All right, and then last but not least, we are going to be adding in 1.5 cups of buffalo sauce. Plus more to serve, maybe. All right, so I'm going to do 1 cup. Share that out. And I'll do the half. I might need my other bottle. I think I will. You're a hot sauce family like us. We always got some in storage. Don't really know why I'm measuring here because I know my husband will literally dump these in even more sauce, but whatever. Whatever. All right, guys, before we seal that bad boy, let's really massage that in. I'm hoping you can see me as I'm doing this. But just really making sure all of my drumsticks or wings or whatever are completely covered. And then once they are, go ahead and dump out all of that squeeze out all of that air. Now you know why my bags get discolored, right? Probably from this sauce, but there we go. So I've got one serve there. And I've got another serve here. I'll be so thankful I did that, especially because this is such a great, like, Sunday afternoon. You know, maybe you had a big lunch, you're hungry, but you're not kind of starving, don't really know what you want. These are perfect. Just throw some like carrots or celery with it. Or shred it and put it in a wrap or whatever. I'm going to seal that one as well. Making sure. And that's done as well. Folks, it is 10:26 on the nose. I'm pretty sure that that is exactly 1 hour. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to stop sharing now and hopefully you can just see me. Oh Lord, is that what I look like? But it's all right. That's what we're here for. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you had a great experience and that your week ahead or whatever you're using these meals for makes everything so much easier for you. I would love any feedback that you have. If you are not yet a member, I don't know, shoot me a DM or something and I'll give you a code. Okay, why not? I'm feeling the love this week. If you are a member, thank you for being here. Thank you for always offering new suggestions. And I can't wait to continue to update our summer recipes. We have a bunch of salads coming your way, as well as a whole bunch of salad dressings. Okay, so you can kind of stick to your favorite salads if that's what you prefer, and then some easy prep ahead sauces and marinades and dressings. I'm going to go ahead and put away my ingredients and throw my very few, do you call it? Stuff in the sink and call it a day. Thanks for joining us. Next time you hear from me, I might be a mama too. Oh, scary. Love it. See you guys. Have a good one.